Welcome. I'm Billy. This is video number 7 out of the series, and it is for absolute beginners, the whole series. Um, this and absolute beginners FreeCAD modeling, woodworker's perspective. I had to get that out. So today, something that sounds so easy to model and yet so challenging is a salad fork, believe it or not. So I'll show you a picture of what we're doing here. But first, I tried this many months ago, and I haven't touched it since then. And today, when I was recording this, one time I forgot to turn the recorder on, and it just kept getting more detailed. So I had to just stop, take a pause for the cause, and go into FreeCAD and kind of work it out. It is not, when you get into the different rotations, which is what I want to cover today, and creating datum planes, custom datum planes where you have to rotate them at certain angles to put sketches on, to attach sketches to. It's pretty challenging, and hopefully I can do this without too many mistakes today. So let me go ahead and show you this fork. It's a material list of 3 items. We'll have a handle. This is called the support, and then you have your teeth there. Show you the details. Here we go. This angle right here, that 30 degrees, it's simple to place a handle at 30 degrees, but what I was trying to do is drill the holes out in this support piece here before inserting the handle. And it's just an extra step or two that I do to help me increase my experience level a little bit quicker by trying not to take shortcuts. I think it pays off in the long run to learn these little nuances. So let's get into it. Open up FreeCAD. Alright, parametric part. We'll start with that. And by the way, I'm not going to highlight my mouse anymore. I think when I'm looking at the videos, editing them, I can see the mouse pretty good. So if it is an issue, please let me know in the comments. We'll start off with the material list. We had 3 items. So we're going to have 3 bodies. We got 1 body there now. So body number 2, body number 3. And it's a support. We got teeth, or I'll call it a tooth, and a handle. Let's go ahead and get that. Right click, rename, support, enter, arrow down. I'm going to use the F2 key to rename it teeth, or I'll call it the tooth. Enter, go down, F2 on the keyboard, and we'll call that one a handle. There we go. Let's go ahead and start off with the easy one, the support. And you'll see it's not that easy once we get into it, especially when we start drilling holes into the support. Okay, so I got to right now the handle is the active body. You can tell from the color. So if I do a sketch, it's going to put the sketch in there. So we want to either double click on support or right click it and check that active box. Now we can do a sketch. And which way do I want it to face? I'll do it this way here. So I'm going to choose the YZ plane. Double click on that. And the support, this piece here, Number one is 1/2 inch diameter, and it's 3 7/8 inch padded or in length. So 1/2 inch and 3 7/8. Go down to here, go back there. Now earlier, I was trying to be smart and put the diameter over here and the side of the circle tangent to this line here, because I thought I was being smart. I can come back and use this line or the edge or that plane to insert or drill into that support, and it ended up making it much more difficult than it needed to be. So you would not have wanted to watch that one. I can guarantee you that. So let's go ahead and put this circle right there on that origin, and we know it is a 1/2 inch diameter, so 0.5, and that is fully constrained. That's an easy one. Close it, and then we'll pat it. Now I'm going to turn this origin on over here to show you that we're currently patting in the X direction away from this face, or that, that plane. Go back to task here. What we want to do is use symmetrical, and that way you see that plane there. As you increase the size, it's going out on both sides, and that's going to help us center the handle when we attach it to this piece here or drill the hole for it. So that's going to set us up for success there. All right, the length is 3.875. Roll back here. All right, so I just wanted to show you that. Let me go ahead and turn the origin off up here. That's off. Select isometric view. All right, we now, or at least I want to drill the holes here for the teeth. So the hole is 3/16 diameter, 5/16 deep. All right, wish me luck on this one. Because we have to, we can't just select that like I just did and do sketch. If you do that, you don't have a flat planar face to sketch to. If you did it on this end, that's a flat planar, and you hit sketch, you could draw a sketch right on the end. So what do? You have to have, well, you could do a couple of things. I could just start a new sketch and then use this XZ plane. But then when I tried that and then moved the hole out to the side, it would not let me move it. It locked it. So what we have to do is create a plane and then attach the sketch to that plane. All right, so let's do that. Cancel that. So before we can draw those circles, let me go ahead and get a plane. Here we go. The plane is right there. Select a plane. The plane is deactivated. We need to select something to attach it to, and I am going to select this support or dowel. There you go. Now the plane is attached. I have to have a way to spin that plane around though, because I can't draw the circle on it right there. So now let's work on spinning that plane around and getting it into position. And let's see what we can do here. So in theory, the Z-axis is the vertical axis, and if you rotate the plane around on the z-axis 90 degrees, it should position it where we need it. But it doesn't always. Yep, see, the z-axis for this item, and this is something I'm still learning, but there's a variety of z-axis. You got your originate, I guess you can call it the original z-axis, but then as you start drawing items, they internally have their own z-axis. And obviously this plane, since I selected this, now it has its own z-axis. So if that doesn't work, we have to try another one. Let me try the y, and we're spinning it around, not in the direction of, but we'll get to that, but around the y-axis, which is here, but it's probably the z. We'll see. No, it's not that, because you can see it's not using that. So I'm going to put that back down to 0. Okay, spin this back around. This then is probably what we're looking for. X, let me see. Let me go back over here. Let me look at it in this direction from above. See if it's. Nope. Set that back to 0. Maybe it was the Y. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, okay. So we want that to be 90. I'm just going to go ahead and type 90 while it's blue over on the left. Hit enter. Alright, isometric view. Okay, there we go. So we have the plane in the right direction. Now we need to take that plane and move it to the left on the y-axis. If the y-axis is the same as the y-axis for the plane, we shall see. Alright, go on the right view here. I'm going to just skew the view a little bit here so we can see a little bit more of it. Alright, datum plane. I'm going to double click on the datum plane. Now this time, instead of moving around an axis, we're going to move in the X direction or Y or Z direction. I'm thinking in the direction of Y is what we should do. Let's see how that works out. No, put that in 0. Let me try the X. Since X wrapped around the Y-axis, I don't know. Let me just try the X, see what happens there. Yep, that's what we want. Okay, so it's already through the center of the support piece. So out to the edge here would be 1/4 of an inch. 0.25 is what I'm typing in this X direction. And yeah, we could do that, but I want to go negative. I'm going to go to the left of that and put a negative sign. There you go. Because I want it to be on that side. Just being picky. Hit OK. Alright. There we go. Now we have a plane that we can select. There we go. Selected the plane. Hit sketch. And we're on, you can see we're on the other side of where I wanted to be, but that's okay for right now. I'll just do that. Go up here and move the part of the model that's blocking my sight. This will get it out of the way. Hit that, and you can see it cleared it up right there. All right. All right, so I'm going to start with that sketch there. And let me look at some more information here. So it's a 3/16 diameter hole that we're going to drill into there, 5/16 deep. Alright, grab that. 3/16. You can go ahead and type the fraction in there, hit enter. Alright, we'll worry about these dimensions here in a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to close it because I want to demonstrate something to you here real quick. Alright. That is strange. Why is it so far over? Look at the datum plane. Make sure we got it right. Yep. Okay. Sketch. Oh, okay. There you go. You see that up there? I didn't realize that I drew that off the edge. So I'm going to move it in some. Turn that back off. And I'm just going to drag it over. There you go. Drag it over. Alright. Alright, this is the fun part. I'm going to show you a couple things here. You know me, I'm going to try to show you more than one way to accomplish drilling the hole into this support or dowel, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to use the sketch is highlighted. We're going to use the pocket command, and something is not going right. Leave the long normal sketch. I'm going to do the symmetry to the plane. That's what it was. It was going in the wrong direction because we sketched it on the rear side. Let me put a negative here. Let's see if that does it. It will not allow a negative. Alright, so we will reverse it. That's why I won't allow a negative. We'll just use reversed. Okay. Alright. And it did put a pocket in there. So let me try to explain what just happened so hopefully you'll understand it. Okay. When I selected this plane here, it should have been on the front right there. So let me go back to the sketch. There you go. Alright, but it flipped the plane around to the rear. So when I drew this, it was expecting to pocket starting at the rear and working its way forward to the front. And that's why when we did that, let me close it. Over here to the right is the rear, and we drew it on the back side of this plane. We drew it on this side, and when we pocketed it, it was trying to go into the screen, I guess as you could say it, from where we drew it. Like we drew it from here, and it was expecting to go to the left. And so what we had to do, since it drew it on the back side, then I had to come up here and do the reverse on the pocket. Right here. There we go. So now that that is explained, the depth is 5/16, I believe, if I remember. 5/16 deep. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so the length here should be 5/16. Enter that. And you can't see the hole there, but we're going to make it transparent so that you can. And while I'm at it, this plane right here, I'm going to come up here and select that eye and make that plane go away. We were just using that as reference to put this pocket in there. All right, I'm going to select the support, come down here to view, and transparency. I'm going to set that to 50% down here, so you can see through the support and look at the hole we drilled. Now, normally, and this is where I just can't let little details go. I guess it's my nature. That doesn't have a taper on it, for like it would if you had a drill bit. So when you do a pocket, it doesn't put that taper. This is the one you want to use right here, which is the hole. And when you select that hole, you have more options to add threads, countersinks, and things like that. And it'll act like a drill bit when it goes in. So let me demonstrate that to you. So I just wanted you to see that first. Now let me go back to the sketch, or actually let me go back to the pocket. I'm going to right click the pocket and I'm going to delete it because we're going to use something different. All right. All right, remember, when you lose your view, you can use this symbol up here to bring it back. There you go. All right, now let me see if the hole will work for me. Our datum plane is on. Turn it off. Select the sketch. The sketch is highlighted. Now I want to select the hole, and it is giving us that indication it gave before because we got to reverse it. Select reverse. And there you go. The hole went all the way through because the depth is set. I don't know if that is a default or what, but we got 0.98, so it's almost an inch. We want that to go in 5/16. So I'm just going to left button, swipe over, and type in 5/16. And then I'm going to click out here in the 3D model view. Left click, and it'll update the view. Now look, there you go. That's what I like to see. It feels more realistic to me. And then this information down here is not something we really want to get into today. If we were doing machining, I think we could show some threads in here. But you'd have to come up here and select a profile, like which one of these standards do you want to use. An ISO standard is probably what we would use here in the United States. But for right now, the profile is none, so I don't think we have that option to add threads. It's something you can play with if you're familiar with fasteners. It's something I'll probably get into at a later date. Hole cut. Look at that, you got counter bore, countersink. I guess the counter bore, you can go in and flatten it out, and the countersink, I think you know what that is. And the counter drill, I'm not 100% sure what counter drill is, but I have to look that one up. And that's my background, mechanical, so I should know that. I guess I don't use that one enough. All right. Let's talk about the taper and the depth. Now, because the rod, or the tooth I should say, when it gets inserted needs to bottom out, we want the edge right there to be 5/16 from here to where you start, to this edge here. So the depth is 5/16. When you select this block over here on the left to consider the drill point, I'm going to select that. Now the 5/16 depth is set to the tip of the drill. All right. And I believe, let me see. Yeah, it's showing that it is drilled deeper than halfway through that half-inch diameter, deeper than a quarter, so 5/16. So that edge right there, I'm assuming they want the tooth pressed in there all the way to bottom out, past the center line of that. Okay, let me go back to FreeCAD. So I'm going to uncheck that. There we go. Now you have the option here to hit flat on the tip, and now we're back to a pocket. Uncheck it. No, actually hit angled. The default in the system is 118 degrees, but you can see the as I'm changing the angle, you can see that tip changing shape. I'm going to go with 118. I haven't looked up the specs on a drill bit, but I am assuming that might be a standard angle. Okay, so now you know not to use a pocket when you're drilling into an item. If you're going all the way through, pocket's not bad. All right, so now we have to duplicate that across the support. But before we go there, I'm going to show you yet another way to put a hole in here. And that would be using this Boolean operation, which we're going to end up using for the handle, I believe. Wait till I get there. There are times when a Boolean operation might be your best friend in a situation. So if I was to draw, just to show you another way, I'm not going to get precise with it. I'm going to start a sketch. I want to start a new body, and I'm just going to call that drill bit. Hit enter. And then now that that's active, select that. I'm going to I'm going to select that plane right there. Okay, on this line here, I'm going to draw half of a drill bit and then rotate it. So, let me see, right click it out, then I'm going to use this, continuous. Alright, so we know that the tip, I'm just approximating right now, there, and to that line, and then close it, there. Alright, yeah, it's over constrained because I attached these points to the axis, and by default also I think it gave it a vertical constraint, so it's over constrained. By selecting that and deleting it on the keyboard, I thought that would help. I think I grabbed the wrong one, so let me back up. There you go. It should be this one. Grab that one, hit delete. There we go. Now I am not going to take the time to dimension this one because it's just a demo, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And now what I want to do is rotate this to make a drill bit. The sketch is highlighted. Hit rotate, and there, it rotated on that vertical sketch axis. I think that's the default. You can also pick other axes. It may or may not make sense when I do this, but for instance, there you go. That shape was revolved around the x-axis. There it is, revolved around the z, but we want it around, we don't want it around the y. Well, yeah, I guess we do want it around the y. Yeah, because it's right, that was drawn right on the y-axis. But what I was going to say, another way to do this, all right, if you choose select a reference, then that line segment we drew here to here, if it wasn't on that y-axis, you can select it and it'll spin it around that. Well, let me try that one. There you go. So it used that as a center. You can see what effect it had on it. All right, so I'm going to go back to the Y. There we go. Close out, select this. All right, let's get into using the Boolean operation. But first, we got to take that drill bit and insert it. So I'm going to right click on the drill bit, or transform it. And that 1.94, that's going to be way too far. Look at that, see I'd end up over there. So we need to reset the increments up here, and I'm just going to set that to 0.1. And I'm going to grab this tip, and it's going to pull over in 0.1 increments. I'm not trying to get exact here, but I'm just going to get it close. Hit OK, and there you go. You can see that it's inserted into the support like a drill. And then now, using the Boolean operation, the part that you're going to drill into, or the main body that you're going to affect, we want that to be first, and that would be the support. We want that to be active. Right click it, make it active. That's important. Now I'm going to hold down the control key and grab the drill bit. There you go, got both of them selected, and I'm going to then select the Boolean operation. Now currently you see that it's not in there anymore because it fused the two parts together. What we want to do is cut that drill bit out of there, not fuse it. So I'm going to select cut, and there you go. The drill bit's gone, and there's the cut in there. And then this other one, common, you'll notice that wherever the two bodies intersect and they share the same space, I guess you could say, the common, and there are uses for that, but not really today. So I'll put that back on cut. There you go. All right, I just want to show you that there's another way to accomplish that. It'll give you more options in the future. If you get stuck, one way is not working, you can go back and try another way to accomplish it. All right, so the drill, where is it? Oh, okay, the Boolean. I'm going to select that, right click and delete it, because that was just for demonstration purposes. Now I'm going to delete the drill bit. That's the beauty of having parametric. You can walk backwards. If you do something that you want to undo, you can just walk it backwards like this. And delete the drill bit. And now we're back to where we were. We got the hole there. Now we need to put multiple holes there along that support. I don't think I've shown you the linear command yet, but that's what we're going to do. For the linear, you can only do it within one body. Like I demonstrated just a second ago, the Boolean, you had to have two bodies. Well, with these icons up here, what's that, mirror? That's mirror, yeah, mirror, linear. It should be polar. Can't remember. Oh, that's multi-transform. I don't use that one much. But you have to have a feature, a sketch, or something within the active body for it to work. So let's give that a try. So we're going to take this hole right here. You don't want to select it here. I've tried that and it doesn't work. You have to, I tried so many ways to break the system. You have to select this edge of the hole right there. And then you, up here, then you select, with the body active, and then the hole automatically got selected there, but for some reason you have to select it out here in the 3D view. All right, that's good. Then you select the linear pattern. All right, so it put two holes in here, but you only see one, and that's because from one hole to the next over here on the x-axis, it's 3.94. So that's off the end of here. So let's pull that in. I'm just gonna go down for a second here. There you go. Two. All right. It should be. I'm gonna go with 3 inches. 3 inches, and then we'll adjust it. Oh, I'll bet you it's going in the other direction, and I have to reverse it. Reverse the direction right here. There we go. Yep. It was all the way down here being invisible. All right, I set it for 3 inches. That's from the length from here to here, 2 holes, and then I can increase the number of holes here. Occurrences, 2, make it 3. It'll always maintain that 3 inches from the end to end. Let's see how many holes we need. I'm pretty sure it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 holes. Go back here. And I'm just going to type that as 6 holes. And it updated in real time. There you go. Okay. However, that 3 is the incorrect length. We need to go back and do the math. And I've done this earlier. I think 5/8 times 5. Yeah, that came up to 3 1/8. 3 1/8. Double check it. So 5/8. 5 divided by 8 equals, and then times 5 spaces. Yep, 3 1/8. Okay, just double checking. So this length should be 3.125. All right, and that made the adjustment. There we go. Go ahead and close that. We're getting there. We got our support, we got it drilled out. I know we could have done this quicker in the shop than here, but it's all part of learning. All right, so now what we want to do, we go to the right side here. We're going to be looking down the right side. We want to drill a hole in from here, but we want that hole to come in. I think it's at 30 degrees. Yep, 30 degrees. It's a 1/4 inch hole. All right, so this will be fun. I might have to do a little math here to get this right. All right. All right, let's just go ahead and get it started, and then we will figure it out. All right. What plane? I'm going to start these. Oh, here's the handle. Okay, we definitely want to right click on the handle and make that an active body, and then start a new sketch. We're going to be on the YZ plane because I'm going to design the handle from the side and then rotate it. All right, let's go look at that a little bit closer, see what it looks like. So you see it's got a little curvature in there. It's got a piece that gets inserted in there. It's 1/4 inch diameter one end, but the overall diameter for number 3 is 1/2 inch diameter. 1/2 inch, a little bit on. Okay. All right, back to FreeCAD. All right, use this. Oh. there you go, vertical symbol. Horizontal symbol. Now, I think on the keyboard I can type M for mode. Let me see if that does it. Yeah, there you go. Type M again. Type M again, and now we got a radius. That's exactly what I wanted. Put a radius there. And type M again. There you go. That free mode there. And we want the horizontal symbol showed. And this is going to be vertical and coincident to that line. Select that. And then if we click from here to here, we're going to get an over constrained because this y-axis here, I've already got that point locked in, that point locked in. There's no sense in having a horizontal constraint. But let me go ahead and do that anyhow. There, right click to get out of that. Then I'm going to select that constraint and on the keyboard select delete and get rid of it. There we go. Alright, now we can start putting dimensions on it. Okay, for right now, because there's something I forgot to do. I forgot to put a hole in that piece, but that's okay that we did this sketch. I think we can borrow parts of this sketch to kind of set us up for success here. Or not, we'll see. We will see. Do I want this to be 30 degrees? I might want to do 30 degrees now. Huh. No. I'm just going to set that handle just an inch away from here for right now. So from the tip of that handle to the z-axis, and I'll call that 1, enter, and it's fully locked in. All right, let me close it. We have a handle that's ready to go in there, but we don't have a hole for it yet. All right, but I am excited to see what that handle looks like, so let's go ahead and rotate it. While it's highlighted, because the sketch is selected, the handle body is active. We're going to hit the rotate, and we lost it, so we're going to use this symbol up here to pull it back. There you go. So what's happened is the default is to rotate everything around the z-axis, the vertical. We want to rotate it. We drew it on the, I think on the x-axis, so we want to rotate it on the x. We'll see. X. No. Y. There you go. Yeah, rotate that profile on the y-axis. And now we have a handle that's ready to be inserted. Oh, you know what? These holes are not equally spaced on that support, so we can take care of that real quick. Let me hit OK here. The handle looks good so far. Yep, I'll go with that. Alright, so now let's equally space the holes. Let's go to the front here. Let me ISO, just trying to get a strategic look at it. There you go, that'll be good. Okay. Alright, so I want to go up here to the support and I'm going to right click and just make it active body. Go down to the linear pattern. No, I'm going to have to go into the hole because that's where the sketch is. See that sketch right there? I have to set it to the end of the, alright, let me close that. Set the linear pattern. I did the math on this earlier, and with the 5/8 between all and the overall length of the support, it turns out that from the center of the holes out to the edge is 3/8 of an inch. So I have to move that sketch over. All right, let me get it set up. Double click on the sketch. Model tab. No hole. Oh, okay. I know what's going on there. I'm wondering why I can't see the hole or anything, but if I use this dot here and flip it around, I should be able to see it. Yep. There you go. Flip it around again. Flip it. And turn it on. Okay. The reason being is you see where it's drawn right here on this plane. When you're drawing the circle, we're over here on the right side looking towards the left, and all of these are behind you, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, so if you flip it around now, they disappear, because as you're looking, they're behind you, if that makes any sense, I hope. If your eyes were up here on this ZX or XZ plane. So what I'm going to do, flip it around, use this dot here to go 180. All right, and then we're out to that edge from there to there. I can't reference it with this, it won't. So I'm just going to have to do math. Try that again. 5 divided by 16 equals 0.3125. Then I'm going to add a plus sign, plus 0.625 equals, and then we're going to add another one, plus 0.625. Okay. So it was 9/16, not 7/16. All right, let's see if that works. I'm going to copy that and copy. Go back into FreeCAD. And now I want from there over to the center here. Oh, so from there to center, that, and now I should be able to Control V to put that number we calculated in there. Hit OK. Great. There you go. Now when I close the sketch over here on the taskbar, it's fully constrained. I wonder why I didn't constrain that to begin with. Oh, that's right, because I was just demonstrating the different types of holes for you. Okay, looks like we got it all lined up now, centered. Yep, looks good to me. All right, where were we? We got this, and now we need to drill a hole on the back side, but that hole has to be 30 degrees. Yeah, if I try to create a plane, it might let me do it. Let me try, see if I can do a plane. So I'm going to try another method. I really need to get up to speed on planes. I've used them in the past. Sometimes they work really good, and then sometimes they give me troubles like they did today. So I'm kind of glad you saw that. You got to keep your eye on the details. I noticed that plane when it was laying in relation to that circle, it appeared like it wasn't on the center of that circle. Oh boy, okay, cancel that. and it shows me a weak spot that I need to work on. So I'm just going to delete this datum plane. And now I'm going to use the Boolean method. Like I told you, some situations the Boolean will be your friend, and today is going to be that day. Alright, so let me turn the origins off up here, and we're just going to drill right into there. Let me do a right side sketch. We'll do a profile. Yeah. Right side. It's going to be a separate body. And I'm just going to call that, like I did earlier, just drill bit. Because we're going to drill into it. Uh-oh. I deleted it. No. Everything's intact. Handle. Yeah. Alright, so the body. New body. I accidentally deleted it, sorry. Right click and rename it to drill bit and enter. Alright, now that's the active body. You can start a sketch right here on the YZ plane. Double click. We'll use this icon up here to clear the model out of the way. Alright, I don't know if I can use that as reference or not. No. It would have been nice. Okay, so on this drill bit, I'm going to go from here. We'll figure out the angle in a little while. And then we'll select again. There. And then go from there down to the y-axis. And then from there to there, and then we're going to get that over constrained. No, we did not. Yay, no over constraints. Alright, so let me just go ahead and set some lengths here. Yeah, set that length there. And I'm just going to set it to 1. And there we go, my keypad number was off. So I'm going to use this up here to bring it back. And where were we? Here we go. On the left side. Turn my keypad number on. I don't know why it keeps turning off. Set that there and set it to 1. There we go. Nope. Backspace. Now set it to 1. Hit. Come on. 1. Enter. There we go. It flipped around. Okay. Alright, now we're back to where we started. Alright, and we know that we wanted that to match this, where it has to be inserted into that part. It was a 1/4 inch diameter, so that should be 1/8. This line segment should be 1/8. Grab that line segment and point 125. Enter. There we go. Now we want to give this an angle. So from there to there, angle. So 118, we said it was 28. 118 is the angle of the taper minus 90. That should be 28. I mean, no, actually 118 is what we want. 118. There you go. Okay. I think it just needs to be, it's all locked together as a drill bit, but it just needs to be positioned here. So how deep do we want to go into that part? I think it said it was 3/8 deep. And then we got to angle it. Oh yeah, we got to angle it after that. All right. Amex. All right, let me see what I can do here. All right, let's look at the depth. 3/8 deep. We can at least get that going. And that would be from here into there. So we know from here to here is 1/4 inch. And then so we'll bring that up to here, that's 1/4. And then from there over to the left is going to be another 1/8 of an inch, 3/8. So I'm going to pull that over to there. There you go. And we just want from that to that vertical line to be 1/8, and that should overall that'll make it 3/8. So that point, that line, dimension, and I think it's 0.125. I'll grab my keyboard. 0.125. Enter. Okay, let me close it, rotate it, and then we can use a Boolean. But actually, before I do that, I want to rotate this. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that. I'm thinking I want to rotate this, swing it up 30 degrees now, but I believe that since I put this support piece on the axis, the x-axis, when I do the transform, it's going to automatically use these coordinates and that center point to spin it on, which would be perfect. And if that doesn't work, I'll have to come back to the sketch and angle that in. All right, so this is a profile. I'm going to rotate it around the y-axis. Get out of here. Close it. It's highlighted. I'm going to hit rotate, and remember, it always likes to spin it around the vertical axis first. Don't be alarmed. Did I do that right? Vertical axis. What's going on? Let me do the Y. There we go. That's strange. The vertical, why didn't it do? Huh. I think I know why. Yeah, it says update the view. Reverse, symmetrical. No, but anyhow, we got the results we're looking for. Now that drill bit is into that piece, and we want to rotate it up. Let me hit OK. All right. Here's the drill bit. Over on the left, I'm going to right click and transform it. And yes, that center point is right there where we need it. That is so nice. This is already set to 30 degrees, so I should be able to just grab that red circle, and there we go. Close it. All right, and there's our drill bit inside the piece. Now let's go ahead and I want to make the support piece active. Check that. And then hold down my control key and select the drill bit. And then we will select Boolean method, and we want to do a cut. And there we go. Select OK. Okay. So now all we have to do is get that handle inserted, and then the rest of these should be pretty easy. Here we go. Like so. Alright, right side view. Alright, just out of curiosity, when that handle, if I do a transform on that handle and rotate it, see if it's lined up on this center point or not. Hopefully it is. There's the handle. Right click it, transform it. Yep, that's good. That's the beauty of using the the origin, I guess is what it's called, of the sketch. So now I want to go in there on the sketch and then move that in, and I want this piece right there to overhang by 1/8 of an inch, and that'll give us 3/8 deep, and then we can rotate it up and it'll be into the hole. Alright, select OK there. Alright, go back to the handle sketch. There's the origin, revolution, double click on the sketch, there it is. So we want to delete that 1 inch. Delete that. And that should give us the freedom to move that over. I'm going to go up here and select this to remove some of that out of the way. Hey Max. Alright, move that over. Get the end of that past the line there. And from there to there we want 1/8. There to the vertical line. Dimension 1/8, 0.125. There we go. Alright. Now we can close that. I know, Max, I'm almost finished. Well, not quite, but we're getting there. Alright. Let me rotate it. Alright, the handle, right click, transform. It's already set to 30 degrees. Grab it. And it's going to be right there. We overshot it by 1/8, and it should drop it right in that hole. Hit OK. And life is good. And it's bottomed out in that hole. Wow. Yay. I might have said it earlier, but you could probably build this faster in the shop than this, but it is good experience. Alright, I think the rest should be downhill from here, but we'll see. We shall see. I know, Max. All we got left is the teeth. Alright, I'm going to draw a tooth, and then we're going to make clones of it. And after the clone, I'm going to show you how the parent-child relation works on clones. So let's go ahead and give that a try. Alright, I'm going to, instead of drawing a circle and padding it, which actually I could very easily do that. And I could put it where I need it. Huh. Alright, let me go to the tooth here. I'm going to right click and make that an active body. Turn the sketch on, and I'm going to go with the YX plane because I want to draw a profile and build the tooth that way. There's a reason why I'm doing that, which I'll show you. Go up here and remove some of that stuff out of the way for me. Hey, Maxie. I know. This should be just a simple triangle here from that line. I hope it got on there. To here. Alright. Alright, the diameter is 3/16. So 3/32 will be the height of our profile. So this line right here, 3/16. I think it's 0.1875, but I'll just go ahead and do 3/16. Let it do the math. Yeah, 1875, yep. Alright. We've got that. I want to know the length. I should have got that while I was over there. It appears to show that the end of the, from end to end of the tooth is 3 15/16. Now my other cat has joined us up here on my desk, so you might hear both of them talking to each other. Yeah. One is a Bengal and the other one is a young Siamese. She's about a year and a half old. The Bengal is a boy. They get along pretty good. Alright. The length, 3 15/16. Hey, Jolene. Alright, select that line. Select it again. It's 3 15/16, so I'm going to just set it to 3. And hopefully this works. So I'm going to go to space, and we'll go plus, and we'll go 15/16. Yep, hit enter, and it did. Yay. Love it when it does the math for me. Alright, 1 degree of freedom. What is that going to be? Oh, okay. It needs to be set in there. That hole there. Oh, it's supposed to do half of 3/16. So that should be 3/32. 3/32. There you go. Now it looks like it'll slide into that hole there. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Come on, Billy, get it together. It is 3/16 diameter hole. 3/16. So maybe I have the holes wrong, the wrong size, because the profile should be 3/32. Do that again. 3/32. Yeah. Okay, and it looks like this hole right here, maybe when I was doing the demo I wasn't paying attention, but that hole looks like it's too big where it goes in there, so we'll fix it. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and just pull it back just for the fun of it, I'm just going to make it 1 inch off of that line there for right now. Close it, and we are going to, while it's highlighted, we're going to rotate it, and again it went to the Z axis. We want it on the Y axis, so we come over here, select Y, there we go. And those holes are definitely too big. Alright, hit OK. Okay. It's a little easier to draw it without having to talk, but when I try to talk my way through it and explain it, it's not as easy, and I lose my focus. I'm just making excuses. Alright, support, pad, hole. There it is, the hole, the sketch for that hole. Right there. Huh. 1875. Well, daggone, that looks right. That's pretty wild. That is wild. Oh, you know what? When you use the pocket, it'll use that dimension there, but when you use the hole, I think you have control over the diameter, and that might be what the problem is. So let me close that out and go over here to the hole. Right click on the hole, edit the hole. Look at that. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So it overrode the sketch. Wow. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. Alright, I think it was 1875 was 3/16, but I'll just go ahead and put 3/16. And then I'll select OK. And you saw the hole get smaller there. So that should have fixed it. Hide the holes. Now the linear pattern is what I need to turn on. There you go. There we go. That looks like it's properly sized now. Whoa. All right. Alrighty now. All right, so what I want to do is go from the center over to there to get it aligned. Yeah. So let's see if it'll do that for us just by selecting like that wire right there. Select that wire, hit the measurement tool, and then select this wire edge, and I want to look at it from the top and see. Okay, it's giving it to me to the edge of that hole. Edge to edge, but not center. All right, close that. Back to the drawing board, not drawing board, but just back to the calculator. Usually I would have a pad of paper near me and write these dimensions down as I'm doing it. All right, so currently the tooth that we've drawn is right here on this center line. We need to get it over to here. So we have 5/16, and then we got 5/8, and then 5/8. You know what? forget the calculator. Let's just do it incrementally. Here's the front. I'm just going to curve it down a little bit, pull it over. And let's see if we can use the transform on that tooth. There's the tooth. Right click it, transform. And we know the first increment we want at 5/16. So 5/16. I'm not going to select OK. Do that and it should align it. Pop right over there to that hole. There you go. Now I'm going to go up here and change that 16ths to an 1/8. And the tooth will move over in 5/8 increments. Increment 1, boom, boom, there, we're aligned. Okay. All right, now we have to put it in there. Okay, so I know the center and the sketch from here to the center is 1 inch. That's why I used 1 inch in the sketch. And then we need to go past that center to the right, like a 16th or an 1/8 or something like that. So let me pull this sketch up. It's 5/16 deep. So in 16ths, that would be 4/16 to the center. So yeah, a 16th past that would bottom it out, that tooth into that hole. Go into FreeCAD. All right, Max. All right. And here we go. Go to the tooth, right click it, transform. We know that we have an 1 inch from here to the center. So let me change this to 1 inch. 1 inch. Let me drag it in that direction. And there it is. Now it needs to go into that hole a 16th. So now let me come up here and make that a fraction 16th. And where is it? There it is. Grab it, pull it over, and there, it bottomed out in the hole. Okay. Yay. Getting so close. All right, now I'm going to clone the tooth here and make them teeth. All right, I'm just cleaning up the structure over here on the left. All right, so this tooth, while it's highlighted, we need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5 more clones. So that's this clone that I showed you in the last video. Let's make 5 of them because we already got 1. All right, we already got 1. We need 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got tooth. I'm going to rename it. Call it tooth 2. Shift home. I'm going to copy it. Control C and enter. Go down. F2 key. Control V. Back up 1. Call it 3. Go down. There we go. Tooth 4. And 2, Control V, back up, tooth 6. There we go. So we have 6 teeth. Should I rename it? No, I'll leave it tooth. 1 tooth, 2 tooth, 3 tooth. But they're all copied and they're all occupying the same space. So that's something that can happen in the virtual world, but not in the real world. So they're occupying the same space. We need to move them over, and we're going to move them over in 5/8 of an inch increments. And yes, my Bengal cat is he's not happy with the Siamese right now. It's okay, Max. Be good to her. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead, and the tooth is going to stay there. That's the parent tooth. The rest of these are just copies. When you open it up, you'll see clone, clone, clone with each one of them. They're just copies. But I'll show you something beautiful about that here in a little bit. Max, be good. She's not doing anything to you. He doesn't like it when she looks at him. Okay. All right. Yep. Let's move them. So, tooth number 2. Right click, transform. I am going to set that to 0.625, which is 5/8. I'm not going to hit OK. I'm going to grab this, and it's going to take tooth 2 and drop it in the hole. There we go. Hit OK. Now that 0.625 was already set, so the next one, tooth 3, right click, transform. Boom, drop that in the hole. Okay, and so forth. Transform. See, it's just moving in 5/8 increments. There you go. Okay, tooth 5, right click, transform. Go. There's probably a quicker way to do this, but for right now, I tried to do it up here with this, with the linear pattern, but it won't work with bodies. It's something that I have to figure out. I could probably set it up in a spreadsheet to do this function, but that will be for another day. Pull that over, boom, 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 boom. All right, drop it in the hole right there. All right, get that set up there. Okay, verify, everything's in there. The only thing we lost right here was that depth. Let me go back. Look at the handle. No, it would have been a Boolean with the support. Here's the Boolean, the drill bit. Turn the drill bit on. I'm going to make this handle go away because I think I got the handle pushed down in it too far. I'm going to click on the handle, and I can use that I or the space board on my keyboard, space, and then turn this Boolean on. Yeah, look at that. Huh, that's strange. All right, let me turn the drill bit back on with my space bar. Oh, that's the drill bit. Turn it back on. I want the handle. That's what I want. I selected the handle. My space bar. It's back. Okay. It might be my processors. I've got so many things going on. It's not calculating, refreshing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And that's why it disappeared. That little taper. So sometimes if your computer is having a hard time with the computing, although this is easy computing stuff, it's not like we're doing FE analysis. So sometimes it's good to just close out of FreeCAD and come back in. It kind of resets the buffers, your RAM, and your computer will work better, especially if you're doing a lot of functions at one time and deleting things and all that. I've run into trouble in the past. All right, so what I want to show you is the cool trick that now that we know that we have the parent tooth and then all the other tooths are the clones, or some people would call the child. So if you modify the parent item that you cloned from, it'll translate across the rest of them. All right, so let me open it up. Almost done. All right, Max, hold on, buddy. Almost there. Go to sketch. And then there to there. There you go. And then I will just trim it out. Trim it. 6 degrees of freedom. Okay, now I could go in here and dimension all this and angle it and all that. But this is just demo. So what I'm going to do is just close it and show you the effect it has. There you go. See? It changed the parent and also changed the children. So that's the beauty of using clones. They're associated with the original that you copied from, and when you go back and change the copy, it transforms or translates across the other copies that you made from the original. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, I'm going to restore this back. There we go. Put it in position. Yay. Now we got to do our final coloring. Grab every one of these, select all. I don't think I can do a select all. That, hold down Control key and just select away. Go down here and change the color. And hit OK. And there we go. All right, I'm going to change that color, make it a little bit darker. Use this slider up here, slide it down, just darken it up a bit. And there we go. Not quite a wood color, but it's better than gray. There you go. There's your salad fork. Thank you for hanging in there. It was painful, yet educational. I hope you learned something from it, for those that were able to stick it through. And that's number 7. So let me wrap it up here. Okay, thank you for hanging in there. My cats are running around. You'll probably, let me show you Jolene, our Siamese Jolene. Say hello, Jolene. And then I gotta show you the Bengal. He's the one making all the noise. He's the noisy one. Here we go. And there's the Bengal Max. Yeah. I know. You don't like it when Jolene gets in your way. All right. Thank you for hanging in there. It was a long video. I'm trying to shorten them, but I'm just not having good success. I think after this series, once I get a lot of this out of my system, I got 2 more videos to go, I think, and although there's so much more to cover, I think I'm just going to try to do simpler, easier things, shorter videos. I can squeeze more in, although I really do want to get into assemblies because I think that's important, but I'm going to find a way to chunk it down smaller pieces instead of these long hour-plus videos. But anyhow, that's number 7 in the bank. 2 more to go. And I think what I want to do after this is maybe take some of the hardware that woodworkers use, hinges. I might have mentioned this in a video before, but I think I want to start working on some hinges, hardware that is, and I think that'll be beneficial. I just can't think of all the hardware off the top of my head, but fasteners, screws, brackets, whatever. That'll be a nice little series, I think. And then who knows after that. Eventually, I do want to get into guitar building, CNC design, and playing my guitar. So I'm trying to get some ideas together for that. I don't even own a CNC machine, but I want to build my own. I have built a guitar, electric guitar, but it's not completely finished yet. So I may show you some of that, and then maybe do a video on finishing that up. What I got left to do is leveling the fretboard and put electronics in and see how that turns out. Let me see, that's about it. So I have the hardest time just closing these things out. So steady as she goes. Have a great day.